Hi, my crafty friends. I'm so glad to see you here with me. Today I'll be doing a stunning crackle paint finish on a glass bottle, some awesome paper beads, and if you've never seen paper beads before, they're really easy to make and a lot of fun. I'll also do some amazing 3D embellishments using air dry clay and a brooch. So if you're ready, let's make a mess. I got this bottle at Dollar Tree. And the first thing I'm going to do is wipe the bottle down with some alcohol to remove any dirt or oils from being handled. I'm painting it with a base coat of vintage white, and I'll let that dry for about an hour. After it's dry, I'll spray it with a coat of matte spray sealer to bond the paint to the glass. Now I'm adding a layer of metallic bronze paint. This will be what shows through the outer layer of paint through the cracks, and I'll let that dry for about another hour. I ended up giving it 2 coats of the metallic bronze paint. Where are you watching from? I'd really love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments. I'm filming from Las Vegas, Nevada in the United States. I'm painting a coat of folk art crackle medium over the bronze paint. I'll let that dry for about an hour and then I'll paint over that with a coat of vintage white paint. I'm painting the vintage white paint over the dried crackle medium. As you're painting it on, you can already see it start to crack and show the bronze paint through the cracks. I'll let that dry for an hour or so before moving on. Somehow I missed filming that, so I recreated it on a piece of cardboard so you could see the cracks forming. It happens rather quickly and is kind of fun to watch. I'm painting the lip of the bottle with the metallic bronze paint. And once that dries, I'll clean up the bottom of the bottle. I'm adding a little bit of iced espresso and gold rub to the bottom of the bottle to add a little bit of an aged look. And then I'll give the whole thing a coat of triple thick glaze glossy clear spray. If you're enjoying this video, please let me know by hitting that like button. By doing so, you help my channel to grow and reach more people out there. That way I can continue to bring all of you great tutorials. And thank you for doing that. I got a bumblebee cabinet pull at Hobby Lobby that I'm using for the topper on the bottle. I had my husband cut part of the screw off because it was really long, and I'm using E6000 glue to glue it to the cork stopper that came with the bottle. I drilled a hole in the cork and I'm putting the partial screw in that hole and letting it dry overnight. I'm going to make some really cute little bees to add to the bottle topper. I'm using Delight clay and a silicone mold. I'm making a large one for the front of the bottle, but I'm using cream paste to make that one. I tried using the clay, but the legs were too fragile and kept breaking off. Cream paste is a better choice for fragile molds. The large bee for the front of the bottle was a little bit thick, so I had to let it dry for 48 hours before I was able to remove it from the mold. Before I remove the large bee, I'm wiping the top of the mold with an alcohol wipe to remove any excess cream paste that dried on top of it. I also painted the cork with the crackle paint steps, just like the bottle. Now that all the clay is dry, it's time to paint my little bees. I'm using the bronze paint on the large bee and the 3 little ones. I'll let that dry for about an hour. Make sure you stick around. I'll be showing you how to make paper beads as well as a homemade tassel. Once the paint is dry, I'm going to antique them so that all the detail from the molds stand out. I'm brushing on the antiquing medium and then wiping it off right away. I'm going to let that dry and then add some gold rub to highlight all the details. I have some great videos coming up in the future. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of them. I'll be making a beautiful pink lady, a unicorn, and a peacock, just to mention a few of them. If you want to be notified every time I upload a new video, make sure you click the bell. I'm adding some of the gold rub to the cabinet pole as well, so that everything matches. I'm using E6000 glue to add my little bees to the topper on the cork, and then I'll let that dry overnight. While I'm waiting for the glue to dry, I'm going to work on the crown. It's silver and I need it to be gold, so I'm going to paint the background with some watered down gold paint. I'm wiping off anything that gets on the stones. I'm also adding some gold rub on the edges, and I'm using a brush to get into some of the tight spaces. And it turned out great. It totally looks like a gold crown now. I'm going to glue the crown and large bee to the front of the bottle using E6000 glue. I tried using hot glue, but it didn't seem to hold the crown properly, so I decided to use the E6000. I used some painter's tape to hold everything in place and let it dry overnight. Now we're going to have some fun. I'm going to show you how to make some paper beads. And the great part is that they don't look like paper at all when they're done. They end up looking like porcelain. If you've never done this before, it'll open up a whole new world for you. These beads can be used for anything, even jewelry. I'm going to cut the paper into strips that taper from 1/2 inch to a point. The point needs to be in the center of that 1/2 inch, so I'm cutting off an angle of 1/4 inch to get started. Then I'll continue cutting the 1/2 inch strips, 2 strips for each bead. Choose your paper according to the colors. Don't worry about the pattern at all. You won't be able to see it. The only thing you'll see are the colors. I'm using a stir stick to roll them on. I put 2 of the strips together and taped the large side to the stir stick. Then started rolling. Once you get to the end, glue the points down. I made a couple of beads using only 1 strip of the 1/2 inch paper, and that results in a thinner bead. I made a couple of smaller beads using only 1 strip and 1/4 inch instead of a 1/2 inch. I'm painting UV resin on each bead and curing it with a UV light. I gave each bead 2 coats to make them look nice. After cured, I cut off the excess stir sticks from the top and the bottom. And there you go, some really cool looking beads that you'd never guess were paper. I'm going to make a couple of special beads that will say Queen Bee on them. Instead of making these tapered to a point, I made them a 1/2 inch straight so I'd have room to add the words. I printed out a couple of really tiny bees and the words using my Cricut machine. After I cut the strips out, I added some aging on the edges with some brown ink. I'm using a cotter pin to roll these. It leaves a bigger hole in the center, but it rolls nicely. After I rolled the bead, I glued the tiny bees and the words to each bead. And then painted them with the UV resin and cured them under the UV light. Since the cotter pin leaves a large hole in the center, I had to add a metal eyelet in the hole to make it look nice. Okay, let's make a tassel. I'm using embroidery thread, gold and cream. I separated the thread to grab some strands and used the permanent bend in the thread for the top of the tassel. I cut a length of gold thread for the gold tassel and put it through the top, then wrapping it around the top to form the tassel. I made sure it was long enough to string the beads on there above the tassel, and I did the same thing with the cream thread. I'm stringing the beads on the thread using the ones that I made, as well as some tiny gold and bronze ones that I bought from Michael's. I made sure both were even with each other and tied a knot at the top. Then tied them around the neck of the bottle. I tied a beautiful tan and gold bow around the neck of the bottle as well. What type of tutorial would you like to see more of? Mixed media and decoupage? Mason jar decorating, or more craft videos just like this one? Let me know in the comments. I love hearing from all of you and look forward to reading your comments. I answer every comment that I receive. And voila, a beautiful queen bee bottle. I put together a playlist of some other tutorials you may enjoy. Click the picture on the right to be taken directly to that playlist. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos.